Oh shit. It's time. It's time. What is up, everybody? Welcome to my reaction, my live reaction to the series finale of Attack on Titan. Never thought we would be here. Never thought to see the day. Always thought that this day, this very moment is gonna be like sometime in the distant future. Well, the distant future is now. I am, of course, a manga reader, so technically I've already experienced the ending of Attack on Titan, but the anime is a different experience. I've always maintained and believed that I think the Attack on Titan anime elevates the original source material to its fullest potential. Moments and scenes that a lot of people will go, yeah, that's fine, that's okay, whatevs, when they were reading the manga, can be moments that will absolutely make people cry in the anime. And so here we are. I'm literally shaking. I am literally shaking, and I am kind of stumbling my words because I don't know, because the moment I say, all right guys, let's watch it, that is the moment where I'm like, oh shit, we're finally doing it. Finally doing it. I'm gonna wait a bit longer for, just to let other people come in, and of course, hey, it's the ending. I'm sure most of you have already seen the ending by now. There's nothing else to spoil. So spoilers are free. You are allowed to say spoilers, whatever you want. But except if there are any original scenes, if there are any changed dialogue that I don't know of, don't talk to it. Don't talk about it just yet. All right? Don't talk about it just yet, because that would actually be spoilers for me, right? Because those are things that are new. Those are things that I have not experienced yet. But in regards to like the story in general, because let's be honest here, the ending is gonna be the same as the manga. Like, people actually thinking that it's gonna be different. I kind of commend them for actually thinking that way for 2 years straight. But yeah. Oh man, this, yeah. Spoiler, Mappa Cook. 90 minutes. An hour and 24 minutes and 55 seconds to be exact. That is the entire length of this series finale, and I am like shaking. I am shaking. All those months ago, a year ago, when we finished with Attack on Titan, the ending of with the season 2, sorry, not season 2, Attack on Titan season 4 part 2. When we finished that, I talked about like how I talked about how I want the anime to adapt the final chapters of Attack on Titan, and if they do end up making it a movie, then it needs to be a really long movie, like at least 2.5 hours, and that is kind of exactly what we got. We got a 2.5 hour movie, right? The first hour was released like way back in March. Now we're experiencing the final hour and a half. And I will say this as my final talking point in this intro before we continue on with this reaction. I want to talk about a bit about the ending, or most importantly, the perception of the ending when it was first released way back when. Because I'm sure for a lot of anime onlys who are at the time still watching like season 4 part 1, hearing all of these rumors and musings and talks and discussions of like the ending being terrible, the ending being bad, one of the most controversial endings of all time. And while I don't think the ending's perfect per se, I don't think it's like the perfect ending in the manga. It is a bit heartwarming for me when I look at other people who have seen this episode, this final episode, and their spoilery, discussions and how they talked about it, and how a lot of people absolutely love this final episode. The reception for this finale has been almost positive, almost entirely positive. There's still like some people like, yeah, it's not that good or whatever, but like the majority is positive about this ending. And even people that, when the manga was ending, when there are people that legit I saw say things like, yeah, that ending was garbage, that was terrible, that was shit. And then I'm seeing them there, I'm seeing like how they feel about this finale, and they say, oh yeah, Attack on Titan is back, baby, it's peak, it's a masterpiece. And I'm like, what the fuck would change? What? You were hating that before, and now you're liking it, and it kind of warms my heart. It's like, holy shit, I am living in a timeline where the finale of Attack on Titan, which I was fearing is going to be very controversial in the anime community as well, is mostly praised, mostly beloved. And I'm like, damn, what a time to be alive. So, let's jump straight into it. Talking about openings and ending first, because there is a new opening and ending which I have not seen. I am going to be what do you guys want me to do? Because I had plans for the discussion, right? Obviously, after we finish watching the episode, we're gonna have a long discussion. We're gonna have a discussion, like a really long discussion about like the story, the theme, the philosophical whatevers. And we're also gonna be breaking down like the episode as usual. If you've ever been to my reactions, you've ever been, to the discussion portion as well. We talk at length at that, but I want to do more than that after that. Like, spend some time, like maybe do tier lists of like best moments of Attack on Titan, best characters of Attack on Titan, best openings and endings of Attack on Titan, and stuff like that. So initially I was kind of going to lump the opening and ending reactions like at that point, but I don't know. Should I watch the opening now, and then we're going to be watching the episode, and then after we end the episode, we watch the ending? Or should I watch the opening and ending now, and then watch the episode? Or should I watch the episode and then opening and ending? Alright. So, most of you are recommending me to watch the opening first, and then after we watch the opening, we're gonna be jumping straight into the 90-minute reaction. And then after we finish the 90-minute reaction, after some, initial review, initial thoughts and opinions, obviously, because I will have a lot, and then we're gonna be doing the ending, and then afterwards we're gonna be having our long discussion as usual. Alright. If that is the case, then give me a sec. Let me open Pony Canyon first. Gonna have to search this up first. Can I show it on YouTube, or is that gonna be copyright claim? It's by Link Horizon. Ah! Okay. I think it should be fine on YouTube. I mean, I've seen people post full reactions to like the openings and endings of Attack on Titan in full batches. So I think it should be fine, right? I think it should be fine. Hang on. Let me take that off. Let me, hang on. Am I showing it? No, I'm not showing it. Am I showing it? Yes, I am showing it. Could you imagine? I'm gonna start the opening and then immediately the stream stops. Like, copyright claim. I'm gonna take the risk. I feel like Attack on Titan openings should be fine. I mean, I have my Attack on Titan opening and ending reactions on YouTube still. That has not been taken down, so should be fine. It should be fine. Hopefully. Maybe. Let's see. Desktop audio is... Alright, let's watch this opening first, and then we're gonna be watching the 90-minute episode later on, and then we're gonna be watching the ending afterwards. Famous last words? Oh god. Attack on Titan final season, final chapter opening by Link Horizon, The Last Titan. Oh man, I'm gonna get so much nostalgia from this. Alright, here we go. Okay. We're starting with the choir, just like how the Akatsuki no Requiem ending starts. So okay. Wait. Subtitles? We're doing it again. Oh. Whoa. Yo, that was cool. That was cool. Zooming into Ymir. Whoa. Huh? Oh man. The slave that wants to run for freedom became a bird. This is beautifully done. No, we're not. Children of the forest. Of course. All right, I'm gonna quickly skim through the opening because obviously a lot of people are gonna be like asking for the reaction. I know. Beginning with shit. Dude, it's the cycle. It starts with Eren as a baby, and then it ends where okay. So Eren starting with as he is a baby, those seeking hands, yearning for freedom, or staying with sunset. Baby Eren trying to grab onto Grisha, blood in his hands. It's cool to see like the original or like the first seasons of Attack on Titan in this opening as well. Huh. Interesting imagery. Ymir is being crushed by Eren. I love her expression, like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? She's like unfazed. Interesting. This is such an interesting take on this. Eren with the crossbow, though. The slave that once dreamt for freedom watched many offered powers passed on and became a bird drenched in fire. Oh my god. Eren became bird. Crying is real. The bird having the fiery imagery, kind of like a phoenix. This is great. This is a great way to do like the usual like anime running, character running in the anime opening trope. Like running past the past, right? Running through all of these various different moments in time. There was something here. Wasn't there a flash or something? We're not slaves. This we're going to be seeing much later on in the episode, obviously. It's a pretty good opening. It's a pretty good opening. I mean, I've only seen it once. I don't know if it's like my favorite opening, but it's a pretty good opening. It's a pretty good opening for the ending of Attack on Titan. It is a celebration of what has come before and where we are heading for in the future. What the fuck is Eren? What is he doing? Y'all see this? What is he doing? What are these goofy the dance moves, Eren? What anyways. That was the opening. We are going to continue on with the actual episode now. So, as usual, if you're watching this live, then there's going to be a timer-based reaction version, which is the one that you're watching on YouTube, and it's going to look like this. Usually it looks like this. Now it looks like this. So there's going to be a subtitle. There's going to be subtitles right there down below that you can visibly see. There's going to be the timer up here that you can see. Or if you are watching this live, you can hop on over to Twitch where, let me set this up. Where I am showing the footage. You can watch the episode along with me on Twitch, picture-in-picture version in like right here. And if you're watching the VOD, then the picture-in-picture version will be available in the description below. Maybe a couple of hours, maybe a day. I don't know. It depends on like how long I need to like render it out, because obviously this is like a 90-minute reaction. I need to upload that as well, which can be pretty big. So either way, if you are on YouTube, then grab your copy, then and you can sync it up with the timer, or just hop on straight into Twitch and you can watch the episode along with me. And I think that's pretty much it. I will not check the ending. I will check the ending after we finish watching the episode. I think that makes a lot more sense. And me and chat kind of agreed on that as well. So, an hour and 24 minutes. It's happening. It's happening. Let me drink. Let me drink. And for those of you who weren't here like an hour before, I was streaming my reread of the final manga chapters of Attack on Titan. So I was rereading, or at least skimming through like the final chapters of Attack on Titan on Twitch, and just to refresh myself, just to remember like some scenes, some context, what to expect on this series finale. Gotta say, there's a lot that I am really looking forward to. Okay, here we go. It depends, Roy. It depends on whether or not you want to watch on YouTube or on Twitch. On YouTube, there is no audio, by the way. There is no audio on YouTube, okay? So, just to, I guess I can do an example for... Let me go back to that Attack on Titan opening, just in case if this is the first time some people are here. So this is basically how it's gonna go, right? Basically, there's gonna be subtitles down here on YouTube. There's going to be a timer up here that you can sync up with, your own copy of the footage, but there is no audio. Okay, if you want audio, if you want like the full image, and you don't want to sync up with the timer and whatever, then just hop on over to Twitch. There is a link in the pinned comment up there. There's a link to the Twitch up there. But if you still want to watch on YouTube, if you still want to have your own copy, maybe you want the episode itself to be bigger in your screen or whatever, and you can adjust that to your will, then stick around on YouTube, sync it up with the timer. There's going to be a countdown, and once it hits 0, press play, I press play, and we should all be in sync. All right. A lot of people here. Jesus. There's a lot of people. I mean, it is the ending of Attack on Titan anyways. So, gonna hit record on... Oh wait, I need to make sure that I actually mute the audio on YouTube. Mute the audio on YouTube, just keep the audio on Twitch. Hit record on Twitch. Should I record on YouTube? Nah, I'm not gonna hit. No. Alright. If you're on YouTube, hope you guys have your copy of the final episode ready, whether it is Crunchyroll or other means. I'm not gonna judge. And if you are on Twitch, then don't really do anything, actually. Like, it's fine. Also, by the way, once again, I need to emphasize this. I will not be reading chat, or at least I'll try my best not to read chat throughout this entire reaction. Okay? This is going to be 90 minutes of me focusing on the episode. You guys are focusing on my reaction. I am focusing on the episode. Okay? So if any of you guys have any questions or whatever, you talk and I'm not responding, it's not that I am ignoring you. Well, I am. It's not that I don't want to answer you, but it's just that I am focusing on the episode. Okay? So, hope you guys don't mind that. That's usually how it goes. we can have an entire we can have hours and hours and hours on end after we finish watching the episode to discuss further along, right? All right. Gonna start the countdown on YouTube. It's gonna be 5 seconds. And it's gonna have a little beep on the 3rd second, so it's gonna be beep, 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 and then play. All right. So here we go. At long last, Attack on Titan. No more stalling. Here we go. Recap of the previous chapter, just to make things flow better. Let us stop the rumbling indeed. Love how the sound fades into nothing there. Also very excited to hear like the music and the soundtrack choices that they're gonna be using. I think they did a really good job at like choosing to recap this is perfect because it's building the hype, man. It's like, yeah, this is the setting, this is the tension, this is what we're trying to deal with, this is the objective. And it's the end of the world. Is that new? Is that a new scene that they added? I don't remember that. I don't remember this. The Battle of Heaven and Earth? The Battle of Heaven and Earth! Start with Ymir? And the pigs? Yep. Free those pigs. Oh, and she's smiling as well. Cut to Ymir looking, yep. Not smiling anymore. Yeah. Yep. Really good voice acting there. You can definitely feel that that he doesn't want to do it, but he has to. perfect. Remember what Urban said? Yeah. Ah. Oh, I love how they did this. Oh, that's a way to do it. Yeah. Cut to Onyankapan. What is this music that they're playing? New soundtrack? Hello? Yamamoto is probably the one doing this. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Man, this music though. Yeah. It's drums. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Dude, the way she's that was cool. Oh man, the editing and the music choices has been really good so far. It's like hype music immediately cuts, hype music immediately cuts because that's just like the very tension of the scene. It can go either way, right? No, we gotta help. Yep. They're fighting for freedom. Oh. Dude. Who did that? Who did that cut? Who did that? Was that Imai or is that somebody else? I don't really care. They're all great. That melody in the soundtrack, though, as they kind of mix in multiple different soundtracks at once, is chef's kiss. Figuring it out. Mm-hmm. Interesting. This is how they're gonna do it. I mean, the place where Armin was. I kind of imagined that like there was going to be a floor, but there is none. What is this music? Okay, I didn't know it was that tough. Barricades? Ooh. I love that both the upper. I love the different in color tone between like the upper layer and the and inside his ribcage. Oh, what a shot. Let's keep fighting until the very end, yep. This rendition, though. Oh, that was cool. I got goosebumps. Oh, shit. Oh, man. aerial shots. Yeah. Everybody's here. Oh man, that is way worse than what they showed in the manga. Like the ship is destroyed here. In the manga, it just capsized. It makes a lot more sense in the anime though, like the lightning explosion and whatever. Oh, this looks pretty good. The other one destroys Eren's nape. Yep. Mikasa expression there. And then John is gonna have to say that we have to kill him. Language. That scene was well executed. Hey, come on now. You gotta work it out somehow, man. Don't. That's a lot of warning shots. Oh, that was. Oh my god, they're Oh my god, they're playing The Weight of Lives. Which is the orchestral version of Call Your Name. Give me the drop. Give me the drop. I've been asking for this. Here we go. I love how they animated her. That was great. Woo! Jesus. Spam that shit. And they're playing the full song as well. All of them. Good job, Connie. This conversation. I love it. Where's the prize? Where's the prize money? Flashback to Eren. Sorry, Erwin. Yeah. No. Levi Squad. Gotta make a choice with no regrets, man. So many goosebumps. Man, they fucking cook with the music choices in this. God damn, man. 2 years ago when I was reading this part in the in the manga. This entire section of the fight. It's perfect. It's so perfect. The moment to moment action after action after action, it just hits. And the pacing has been really good as well. Yeah. Surrounded. Classic shot right there. Here we go. Of course, he puts Annie less. Jesus. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Gonna show the rest of the world. There's the baby. Cinema. Cinema. Oh my god, this is so perfect. This is so. Nah, whoever decided to do this scene in black and white and have the baby be in color deserves a fucking raise. Holy shit. Having the choice of that scene, those sequences of events happening after or during this moment where Armin is feeling hopeless. Perfect. There we go. Love how they did that. Where is he? Where's our boy? music though, or this ambient sound that they're playing in the back. Hello. Titans? No. Oh, we just skipped directly into the long. Here we go. Oh, okay. I love the choices that they made for that. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. What indeed? Hmm. I really enjoy how they're doing this conversation. The voice acting definitely adds to like the gravity and the emotion between the two of them. Oh my chills. Love how they transition there. I love that was great. Armin was flicking around the leaf. But the change in how Armin is holding it is what I'm talking about. From Zeke's perception. Mundane life. This piano. Hello. They're playing the orchestral version of Barricades. Yeah. That dude, the way he's running, that was fun. Yep. Look who's come in and saved the day. Freckles Ymir. Woo! Nice. Sweet. Oh man, seeing all of these titans again? Never gets old. He's just there. Oh, fuck. Get him. Come on, Levi, get him. Ymir is just trying to understand life. That's basically it. Right. They talked before this. Man, this anime just jealous. We did it, boys. We stopped the rumbling. Ah, oh, beautifully done. Beautifully done. All hope is lost. Now suddenly hope is back. Jesus Christ, this scene. Oh shit, here it comes. Reiner. Hold it off. Yeah. The color tone for this? With the blue hue? Oh, give me the shot. Give me the shot of Armin. Yes. This explosion is way big. That was such an interesting place to do that. What an interesting placement. Armin's gonna. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, the color palette for this has been great. The red, the blue, the green. Oh, look at him! Looks so good. Oh, this sound effect though. Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. I love that. I love the reveal. I love how grand it is. Like the explosion is. Oh, yeah, there he is. That was such an Ava shot, by the way. Jesus, that shot. The clash of giants. Oh shit, here we go. Here we go. This music is so foreboding. I cannot wait to see anime only's reactions to this. Come on. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I remember when people thought that Falco screamed and that turned people into Titans. That dude was lucky to be in there. Oh yeah, he's Marlian, he's not Eldian. Oh, we're so back. Good luck, good luck, Reiner. Good fucking luck. Oh, that he does. That he does. Oh, that was so good. Jean, Connie. Man, Gabby looks fucking ugly. Whew. Come on. Come on. Interesting. There it is. She set the line. He set the line. Eren's character model looks a bit off, but I'm gonna forgive him. Not really Eren, it's Cream Eren. What could have been? Whoa. Oh my god. Beautifully animated. That's a shot. Weave. Oh my god. Okay, that is 100% in my holy shit. Nah, bro, that sequence is insane. I didn't cry when I was reading that part in the manga. This is the part that I was looking forward to the most. The Armin Eren Convo. Let's talk about her. Nice transition. Hey. Uh-huh. And why is that? How can you? Wow. Who knows? Only Ymir knows. There's the line. It is pretty reckless. Mm-hmm. Umida. 10 out of 10. Peak masterpiece. Come on, Eren. Say the line. Tell him, Armin. Tell him. She should. She will. Here we go. Damn, Yuki Kaji killed it with that line delivery. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, you hear that voice in him. Oh. 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 Having it be filled with a sea of blood? Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. This is great. This is great. There's so many good shots in this. Yeah, you cannot change the future, you cannot change the past. Let's live to freedom. That is the hope and that is the dream, Armin. Dude, this entire scene is incredible. Pick up the seashell. The difference between Armin and Eren, right? I was to blame. Huh. Mm-hmm. Wow. The seagull. Wow, that scene was incredible. So Time to be a hero, Armin. The Marlians had to go down Fort Slava to reach them, by the way. And yes, it was. No, we won't. That is true. Her eye colors isn't green, so people can shut the fuck up now. Man, it's about to end. There they are. Itch. All these people. Ah! No. Yes. Sniff her letter, please. Sniff it. Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. 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 Field guide to horses. They could. But you have Historia, so Oh wow. We never actually got to see Yelena. The childrens are making the forest. It really does feel like an ending. That camera movement was a bit weird for me. This is Yui Ishikawa, right? Singing. Because it's VA. Oh. So that's how they're gonna do it, huh? And time passes on. All right, we go full Link Horizon now. All right, let's bomb this shit. Let's go. Come on, let's. Okay, to be fair, that is like what 1,000, 2,000 years from now. Just for good measure, let's just bomb it all this. Ah. There he is. The end. That's it. Wow. One final clap for the incredible experience that this entire anime, this entire story, this manga that Isayama has given to us, that Studio Wit and Studio Mappa has adapted for us, that each and every people, staff member, voice actor, the community that brought this whole thing up and down and to various different places that kept it alive and going. Wow. It's finally over, man. Alright, as promised, I'm gonna be watching the ending song, the new ED song, before I talk further about like my full thoughts about like this ending, this adaptation, this specific episode finale, and all that stuff. So, give me a sec. While I'll get that ready. Oh, it's by Higuchi as well. Alright. Okay. Oh, no subtitles. Huh. I'm on the official Pony Canyon channel and the opening had subtitles. We can read the subtitles or the translation for the lyrics afterwards. That's fine. Oh wow, that is so sweet. Good night, Oyasumi. That was beautiful. That was very beautiful. Mikasa waking up, looking at her hand is being held by another person, presumably Eren, and with the butterfly, as we all know, the butterfly symbolizes like how the world is cruel but also beautiful, right? That has always been a motif for Mikasa throughout the entire story, even. All right, that was beautiful. That was very beautiful. And I really do love the animation stuff for the ending. Yes. Okay. All right. I think they did a pretty good fucking job at elevating the manga. Like, I was rereading the final chapters of Attack on Titan before this. It's almost straight up one-to-one. There's like a couple of changes, especially one in regards to like Armin and Eren's conversation, which I'll talk about later, but like most, I would say 90%, 95% of this finale has been pretty faithful to the adaptation, from the scenes, the moments, the dialogue. Pretty faithful. And yet, I feel way more satisfaction with this than the manga. I mentioned before like how the audio visual experience of the anime can elevate something that can seem to be okay. And even still, you know, like one of my biggest issues with the ending, or I would say the final chapters of Attack on Titan, isn't really the ideas that Isayama presented. No, I was pretty positive with most of the ideas that Isayama presented within the final chapters of Attack on Titan. There are some that I would say are rather, yeah, I'm gonna have to hop a few hoops and, you know, squint my eyes a bit to agree or to let it roll. But for the most part, I'm like okay with it. But my biggest issues is mostly the pacing. The final chapters of Attack on Titan, the manga, when I was first reading it, felt a bit too rushed for me. Mostly due to how there's a lot of ideas being presented immediately in like these final chapters, and all of these ideas had to be resolved immediately within chapter 139, and Isayama can't really go further than that because he is dead set on having chapter 139 be like the final chapter of Attack on Titan. The anime didn't really add a bunch of new dialogue, but what it did is that it manages to take the existing story, the existing dialogue, the existing scenes and moments and such, tweak it just a little, add in some music to elevate the emotions, and it just works. For me, it just works. Like I am very happy with how this ends. I am very happy as somebody who liked the ending of Attack on Titan but didn't fully let's say I didn't say that it's like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. This was great. This was great. I feel more satisfied, and this feels more conclusive than when I was reading the manga for the first time, even though it's kind of like it's basically the same. There's a couple of moments where obviously, you know, Reiner sniffing Historia's letter is kind of a joke, but you know, you gotta roll with it. that was weird, but yeah, a lot of fantastic decisions in this anime. The visuals, the cinematography, the music choices as well. My God, they absolutely cooked with the music choices. And I will say there are like a couple of scenes where I do think that the visuals felt a bit off, mostly with Eren in the cabin. I mentioned that during the reaction. I've thought that. Hang on, let me find that moment. Some character models feeling a bit off, but nothing like too major, you know. But like here, for example, let's here, hang on. Like Eren and this, what is this? This looks kind of goofy. Not gonna lie, Eren's face here looks kind of goofy, but everything else looks pretty good. I really enjoyed. I really like the visuals of this final chapter a lot. Like this looks really good. I think the inconsistent face models. I mean, this is like a. It sucks that this is a common issue with anime nowadays, but obviously these are things that they can fix in the Blu-ray whenever that comes out. So there is that. And I'm sure for a lot of people who watch like season 1 or 2 of Attack on Titan in the past couple of years, not when it first came out, they're probably watching like the Blu-ray versions, because if you check out like the original TV aired version of like those first seasons, some moments are kind of rough, you know what I mean? Like way more rougher than this, but it is what it is. Also, by the way, since I am streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, if you are watching on Twitch, I'm going to be ending the stream on Twitch because there's really no point in me to continue on Twitch. So hop on over back to YouTube. So if you are on Twitch, thank you all so much for watching the picture-in-picture version. And I should also stop recording that as well. All right. Where should we start? Because there's a lot to discuss. This is a 90-minute episode. There is a lot to discuss. I'm sure a lot of people here have a lot to say as well. How about we start at the end? Sure. How about we start at the end? How about we start at the very end? We got a child coming in to the tree. Oh, I almost forgot. Lyrics. What is the name of the ending song? The one that played in the episode, not the ending that we just watched with Ai Higuchi. No, not see you later. I mean the song that they that played during the end credits of this. To you. To you 2,000 or 20,000 years from now. Okay. 20,000? Wait, what? 20, wait a minute. 20,000? 20,000? That's like 2,000 years I can agree on. 20,000 years? Oh man, my internet is not. Why is it? Okay, here we go. Attack on. I can't find any. Yeah, 2,000 years from now. Attack on Titan lyrics link. Horizon. Not showing me any any results for any lyrics, unfortunately. But okay, well, we are going to we're gonna skip that for now because that's gonna take a bit longer. But anyways, so ending of Attack on Titan, the actual final moments of Attack on Titan is of a boy coming into a tree with a dog. This is new addition to the ending when the manga first came out. So, for those of you who are anime onlys who don't know, basically this is what happens. The manga ends with chapter 139, and this was the final shot. This was the final shot of the manga, chapter 139, when it was first published to all of us, which is Mikasa looking up to the bird flying and thanking Eren for wrapping the scarf around her. That was it. A couple of months later, Isayama added a few more pages to the final chapter of Attack on Titan, effectively not making this moment the ending. No, Isayama expanded on the ending by adding in like montages of what happens to Parody in the future, which is exactly what we saw in here with the montages in the end credits. And in the final panel for that is, of course, of a young boy traversing the ruins of old Parody and then stumbling upon the giant tree where Eren used to lie in peace. That became the new ending that became the new final ending of Attack on Titan for the manga. And let's say a lot of people weren't really happy about that. A lot of people weren't really happy with the ending of 139, and then this dropped, and then a lot more people became more divisive. Let's just put it that way. I really like this. I am one of the very few people who absolutely love how this ends. When the new pages was out for the manga, and I will explain to you why. I kind of explained it a bit when I was reading the manga on Twitch like a couple of hours ago, but this was my rationale. So, at first glance, this implies the cycle continues, right? This implies that the cycle of violence, that the Titans are going to return, and then history will repeat itself, and essentially everything that Eren did kind of got nullified because of this. Like why did we became? How did it came to this? That was like the main talking points for a lot of people when this dropped. It's that, well, Eren kind of sacrificed himself and destroyed most of humanity so that everybody and Parody can survive. Now Parody is dead, and now the Titans are probably gonna come back. We're like, so what's the deal, right? That was like one of the main controversies behind these final few pages. And here's why I don't think that way. Everybody sees this in a nihilistic point of view. The people that actually saw this as like, we're gonna repeat everything, Titans are gonna come back, cycle of hatred, cycle of violence are gonna come in, yada yada yada. To me, that is a very nihilistic point of view. The ending of Attack on Titan has always been something of a positive and optimistic note. This, to me, plays perfectly well as a contrast to how everything starts. What do I mean by that? Attack on Titan, the story starts with Ymir. Ymir comes into the tree because she is being chased, because she has no freedom, because she is a slave. She is lost in the forest. She has nowhere to go. She obtains the power of the Titans, and in that moment, she was feeling fear, and most importantly, hatred. Fear, pain, hatred. And all of that amalgamation becomes the cycle that we know today. This is completely different. I am seeing a child with his dog who is obviously free, a boy who is obviously an explorer. He is not somebody who is lost in the forest. This is not a children who is lost in the forest. This is an explorer. This person is not being chased. This person is not a slave. This is a person coming into contact with the Titan powers not because of malice or because of hatred or because of pain. Nope. It is all for the sense of discovery, adventure, and of course, positivity. I see this more so as an optimistic ending where now the story presents itself a new direction, where the cycle can change into something different. You can say that history can repeat itself, but all of the circumstances to repeat it is not there. This is an optimistic route where history can change to where the Titans can be around again, but this time not as a force of fear and oppression, but something else entirely. We don't know what it is yet, right? Because obviously that is left to our interpretation. That is how Isayama ends it. And because of that, to me, my interpretation is that of a more positive note, and that is why I personally love it. That is not AOT. How is it not AOT though? The whole point of AOT is that we persevere from death and destruction. This is not a nihilistic story, I am sorry. This is a very positive and optimistic story. If you see Attack on Titan as a very nihilistic story where everybody has to die because of tragedy, then I am sorry, but that is not what Attack on Titan is about. Too many people have died, yeah, and the point is that we give meaning to their deaths. Saying that it is a tragedy means that there is no meaning to their deaths, but there is meaning to their deaths because we sacrifice our lives. The characters have sacrificed their lives in order to obtain freedom. That's literally the point. The point of Attack on Titan is to get freedom. That is the most optimistic theme ever. The whole point is to not just to obtain freedom, but also to learn peace. Like, that was literally it. So I'm sitting here, right? And this is exactly what happened when Attack on Titan ended all those years ago, when the manga ended. So I was sitting here and I was sitting then feeling very optimistic with the ending of Attack on Titan, and it just kind of it doesn't baffle me, but it fascinates me how people want Attack on Titan to be more nihilistic. Here's the thing, Eren died, yes, and right after we got this happy ending scene. Yeah, we stopped the guy who wanted to commit global genocide. How is that not supposed to be a happy note? Also, while we are here, because I do want to talk about this for a bit, because obviously a lot of people are going to be talking about like who this is, right? The lucky guy who got Mikasa. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who this person is. It doesn't matter if this is Jean or other people that people may think. It doesn't matter. That is not the point. The point is that Mikasa found somebody else, and she is happy. And I'm gonna be honest here. This whole thing about Jean being with Mikasa it's like I didn't even know that was a thing until I looked into like the subreddit and whatever, because not once in my mind did it cross to me that this could be Jean. I just think that, yep, random person that Mikasa found, fall in love. That's it. Like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Jean or not. It doesn't matter, because that's not like the point. The point is that Mikasa found somebody that she can love with and have a family. But anyways, so that was the ending. Okay, we're kind of moving backwards here with the discussion, but I really love this edition, by the way, because let's be real here, guys. I gotta have to keep the discussion moving forward. we cannot debate all day, but I really love this edition of the scene. This edition of Mikasa seeing a vision or a past memory of Eren sitting there and Mikasa coming in all the way back to episode 1. This was beautiful. I think this was beautifully done. I think this was an excellent change and choice, because in the manga she was just sitting there and the scene plays out perfectly the way it is, but we didn't get this. We didn't get this, and we did not get her breaking down. We only saw her like tears coming down from her eyes, but not much of a breakdown. And her having a breakdown while reminiscing about this, I think, is a beautiful and poignant like choice for them to make. I really enjoy that. It was a really beautiful scene. Yeah, I agree. Then afterwards, the bird comes in, wraps the scarf. I will admit, this I thought that it was cheesy when I was reading the manga, and I still think that it's kind of cheesy, but it works. I don't really mind. I still feel the cheese, but Eren becomes bird. No, not really, but thematically. Moving on from there, I thought this was a bit off. I don't know. Something about this feels off when I was watching this moment. The camera movement and Armin's arm movement feels very robotic and very stiff. Like it feels very stiff and very like I don't know. It just didn't feel like smooth. Like you had the entire episode filled with a bunch of camera movement and it's all fluid and great, and then this happens and I'm like I don't know. That's just me nitpicking just quite a bit. Love to see the scouts all dressed up and well. This is great. They changed a bit the scene. They changed the scenes a bit in this final montage. Where oh no, here we go. The chat is all talking about AoE again. Can we not? Can we not talk about AoE for a bit? Like the show is over. Like there's really no point in discussing an anime original ending anymore. It's like the show is over, dude. Like it's done. You win some, you lose some. Like there's things that I wanted that I didn't get with this finale, and that's fine. You know, like can we not? Like again, since I mentioned it, I wanted a longer epilogue. If some of you are curious, like when I was reading the manga, I do feel like this epilogue, I wanted more from this epilogue of like the montage between Parody becoming more fascist, and then of course shots of Historia, shots of like this entire boat scene and whatever. I just wanted a bit more. You know, like I just wanted a bit more with the epilogue, but the way that it ended with Mikasa, and of course what I said about like the actual added visual imagery of like Eren and young Mikasa and all that stuff, that was perfect to me. So even though that I didn't really get what I wanted, the anime adaptation still elevated the manga material to the fullest that they can get. So I'm happy with that. As I was saying, they changed a bit in the manga. They kind of show Onyakpon, Gabby, Falco, and Levi all in one place. But here it's like they're all separated, but they're all doing various different things, and I really love it. I absolutely love the imagery of the children, specifically Gabby and Falco, building the forest. What a way to tie in with the Children of the Forest theme of Attack on Titan. Like, it's just like, it's perfect. This is perfect. Like, they're no longer trapped in the forest. They are free from it, and now they are taking control of the forest, right? They're rebuilding it. They are shaping it. They are managing it. great. This is great. This tiny little change between them is great, in my opinion. So we move on from there to, I mean, everybody's getting like their, I guess, quote unquote endings, right? On Yakupon working. Yelena got an appearance like she was missing in the epilogue. Like, what the fuck happened to her? Last time we saw her was in the boat, in the manga, at least. So, this is cool. I mean, she's kind of sad. Oh, she's crying as well. Well, sucks to be you. Seeing Levi with the kids is really sweet. We move on from here. Reiner sniffing Historia's letter. Who are these? Who are these two? Not quite sure. I mean, they're just children, but like, I want... Just random children, I suppose. And can people finally stop yapping about the child being Eren's? Look, it was a pretty interesting theory way back when. I get it. I get it. She doesn't have the eye color. It's not green. It's not green. It's not even blue. It's the color of the farmer. So... moving on. Actually, no, let's not move on. Let's not move on. Let's actually stick to this. Because this is something that needs to be addressed. The role of Historia in the final chapters of Attack on Titan. I am still disappointed that we're not getting much of Historia in the final moments of Attack on Titan. Even in Season 4 Part 1, when when it was revealed, like, what the plan for Historia was, the reveal that Historia is pregnant, like, I'm still interested. Like that was still interesting, right? Like, we wanted to know what else she has in store. Now, obviously, her being pregnant obviously is going to make her immobile for like combat scenes and whatever, but I was still at the time kind of wanting more, let's say, political moments and developments from her. Like for me personally, even though this may potentially break the pacing of these final chapters, but I think it would have been cool to see what Parody was going through when the rumbling was pretty much decimating the entire world. Like, what Historia was doing, how is she holding it up? Like, what about like the military and such, you know? Like, the political aspects of Attack on Titan is something that is rather underrated, in my opinion, especially in the anime community. Because obviously we got the big Historia political sub-story in Season 3 Part 1, right? And that was pretty much it. We never really got a full continuation on that part, except for maybe season 4 part 1, but even then it was still mostly in the past and not much of the present. The present is mostly about like the creation of the Jaegerists. So I do still feel a bit disappointed that Historia didn't get a bigger role in the very end. I mean, arguably one of the most important characters of the show, and not really getting anything. It's still disappointing for me. For what we got, it's still fantastic. Obviously, the things with Eren, Mikasa, Armin takes precedent over Historia. But for me, I do still wish that we get a bit more of Historia, but we didn't. But you know, can't really do anything anymore. So that's my overall feelings on the Historia stuff, if there is any. Oh man, I don't know. It's literally the only character that I feel very disappointed in how the story treated her. But that's just me, right? Moving on. From here we got the scene where Eren is finally being chopped and everybody's looking at him. Well, Armin is. This scene broke me, man. Armin's VA crushed it here. She did a fantastic job. The desperation, the sadness, the wailing, the sheer emotion that was being put here, phenomenal job. Like, if I'm rewatching this again, because I am planning on rewatching this multiple times, it's gonna break down. Like, really, just phenomenal job. Of course, with Levi saying goodbye to the squad, this was also really well done. A lot of the scenes are really well done, really, honestly. Not really that much to complain about in terms of like overall adaptation quality. This was a fantastic transition, by the way, from the sky to the eye. That was good. I was like, I was wondering, like, why is the sky like this? Like what is going on? Why are they showing the sky spiraling around? Oh, it's because they wanted to do this. Okay, fair enough. Really good. Senti, here's the thing, right? In regards to like destiny and fate and stuff, we are dealing with a, what is it called? Is it a closed loop or a? It's a time loop where you cannot control anything at all. Even if you know what happens in the future, you are going to do the exact same thing that you do in the future. This is that type of time travel. Not time travel. This is the type of time loop that we are dealing with here. It's predetermined, and you cannot change it. That is why one of the themes of the show, of the story, is that Eren is not just a slave to freedom, but also a slave to time. Then why try to change anything? That's the thing, though. He wanted to change, but he realized that him wanting to change is also already predetermined. Every action that he does, everything that he things he can or cannot do, all of that has already been predetermined. To put it bluntly and to put it simply, Eren has no individual control of his life. Dark reference. Exactly. If you've ever watched Dark, this is exactly the type of time loop that we are dealing with. Dark's a really good show, by the way. Everybody should watch that show. But essentially, that is exactly what happens. Eren sees things that happens in the future. He realizes, in many occasions, like, no, this cannot be. How do I change this? And yet, every time he does it, it all becomes the same thing. Why? Because it's already predetermined. What is the actual name of this theory, though? Hang on, I gotta... The Einstein... Does anybody remember the exact name of this time of this variant of the time loop? The reason why I wanted to share this is because some people don't want to accept this as a thing because it is what Attack on Titan is doing, even though it is an actual theory that has been developed by actual people and scientists in the first place. You know what I mean? It's like, temporal paradox, bootstrap paradox. Causal loops. Newcomb's paradox. Hang on. Well, this is going to be a rabbit hole that I'm not going to dive deeper, but it exists. This type of time loop paradox exists. Eren knowing about the future is him also knowing about the past. But yeah, and to be fair, Attack on Titan does it pretty simply. Like, compared to Dark, this is a pretty simple, like, example of this type of paradox. Like, this is pretty straightforward, you know? Eren sees the future, he realizes that what he does is exactly what happens in the future and nothing changed. Okay, we move on. That's basically the explanation of the time loop. It's much more complex in Dark. So much more complex. I'm glad that they stuck with the idea of one predetermined timeline rather than multiple timelines. It actually played really well within the story. Yeah, exactly. It's like they had like Isayama planned it all out. In a way, you can say that Isayama is essentially trapping himself because he is forcing himself to write into these predetermined outcomes, right? Like if Isayama started the story in the very beginning, like he already set out the plan, like, okay, by the end of this, Eren needs to do this, Eren needs to do that, Eren needs to complete, Eren needs to do the rumbling, Eren needs to do this and that, and he cannot change that. Like, that takes balls. In many cases, a writer would eventually steer off from his original plan because they develop a story and then they realize, oh shit, the story that I develop cannot be, it cannot end the way I envisioned it to be. Whereas with Attack on Titan, even though, yes, there are a lot of revisions towards the very end, but like the key takeaways, the key moments have been pretty laid out from the very beginning, right? But aside from that, I want to talk about this scene. This, bro. Talk about one of the best changes in the entire show. This was so well done. The anime onlys, for those of you who don't know, basically in the manga, after this conversation, like somewhere around here, and they changed a lot of like the emotions and the delivery of the dialogue as well in the anime. But in the manga, one of the most controversial lines ever. It's one of the dialogue that I personally don't like. And chat, cool it down a bit. Let us not wage war here. That is not the message of the story. But this change in dialogue, because originally Armin says, "Thank you, Eren, for becoming a mass murderer for our sake. I promise you that I will not let this error go to waste," or something like that. "I promise you that this will not go in vain." That was such a weird line in the manga. It can be translation issues or whatever, but officially we got that line in the manga, and it's one of the lines of dialogue that I just did not like. I understand what Isayama was going for, but that dialogue was not it. And here, the same thing kind of happens. Like the message and like the tone or like the delivery that Isayama wanted to portray in that moment in the manga is still here. But this change in dialogue just makes it so much better. Armin realizes that it's not just Eren's fault, it's also his fault. It's not like Armin is entirely innocent in all of this. That is the point, right? It's like Armin realizes that he has also done a lot of pretty bad things, right? And he also realizes that what Eren is doing is, in a certain perspective, for the good of his friends, right? It's the, I'm doing this for all of you because I love you guys. By killing people? Really, Eren? You're a fucking idiot. And Eren actually did say that, right? I'm an idiot. But this dialogue where Armin explicitly say, after all of this, let's meet again. Where? Hell. We will meet again in hell. And then they just hug it out, like they finally found grounding after all of this time. Because before this, it's always been conflict. Like, why cannot I understand you? Why can you not understand me? Like, that's always been the case between the two of them, right? Ever since season 4, part 1. And now they've come to the realization and the acceptance of, like, yeah, we're both kind of fucked. We're both war criminals. We don't deserve this. We don't deserve to be in heaven or anything. Nope. We are both demons. My main problem was that Armin gave up in convincing Eren to stop the rumbling slightly too early for it to be believable. I mean, that's mostly a pacing issue. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I can also say the same thing with, like, Zeke, for example, like a couple of scenes beforehand, where obviously the dialogue and discussion between Armin and Zeke is thematically rich, in my opinion, but the switch from Zeke from I don't care about living to I absolutely care about living is also a bit abrupt as well. But I do think that the execution of this, even though it is a bit fast-paced, I think the execution is like, okay, as long as the audience get it, then it's fine. I do wish that this was a bit longer as well. This entire dialogue between Armin and Zeke, just slightly longer, but nitpicking. Alright. Going back just a bit again. How did they do this? How did they make because I kind of like this scene. I was kind of iffy with it in the manga, mostly due to, like, the dialogue itself, but, like, the dialogue is kind of the same here, but, like, the delivery in Yuki Kaji's voice is like, hey man, you give an incredible actor or voice actor a script that can be quote unquote mid, they can work some magic to it. I think this proves to me that that Yuki Kaji is just an excellent voice actor, in my opinion. Yuki Kaji killed it in this scene. Like, I was ready to make a joke or two or whatever during this moment, but no, man, when Yuki Kaji actually talked and you hear that desperation and actual sadness within Eren's voice, like, damn, that got to me. And then afterwards, we immediately continue on this scene with Armin just immediately hugging Eren. Like, Eren, we understand your pain. Let's find a way. Come on, there has to be a way. It was good. It was good. I love this. I absolutely love this. Manga readers can meme this scene and this manga panel as long as they want. I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna admit it. It is kind of funny. I like seeing Eren's face. I mean, let's be real here. the face is not as pathetic as it is in the manga. The manga face was way more pathetic than this. This has sorrow in it. I don't know what magic that they did to make this happen, but they did it. I like this scene. It's such a bro moment. Because it shifts the, for me at least, because here's the thing, right? My experience with this scene changes dramatically between when I first read it in the manga and when I'm experiencing it with the anime. When I was reading the manga, and this may be how a lot of people may feel as well, maybe not, I don't know. But when I was reading it in the manga, it felt off. It felt out of character. It's like a sudden change in personality from Eren, from being this very calm person who's just explaining to Armin about the founder Ymir, to suddenly, after getting punched, to no, I don't want that. It was very jarring. The anime is completely different, in my opinion, in experience. They both, the goal of the scene is straightforward. It is to show that, one, Eren is kind of pathetic, but two, Eren absolutely loves his friends, especially Mikasa, and three, Eren is still a child. And I think the anime does a better job at portraying that. It's not as a major whiplash as it was in the manga, because again, like in the manga, there's no audio. There's no, you don't know what Eren is actually, how Eren is saying it, right? You're saying it in your own voice, and in our voice, it's kind of pathetic. But Yuki Kaji just delivering one of the best delivery ever is during the scene is so good. It's so good. Like, I genuinely feel sorry for him at this point when he was saying this. In the manga, I'm like, Eren, what? Okay. I genuinely feel sorry for him. Ah, fantastic scene. This entire sequence of events are also like well done. It's kind of like how I would have envisioned it, and it was done pretty well. All right. Other plot twist that was revealed in the final chapters of Attack on Titan that got a lot of people stirred up is this, right? Eren commanding Dina to go eat his mother. What the fuck am I reading, bro? If Mikasa was his biological sister? No? I'm just gonna say no. I'm not even going to. I'm just gonna say no. I haven't been looking at chat for a bit. I'm kind of sorry. What is this discussion that I'm reading? What is going on here? I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out. But like, I'm a bit lost. Like, what are you trying to say would be better in this case? Like, like the romance or the. I'm trying to be as rational as possible here. They would have. wouldn't. So wouldn't they wouldn't have romance. Okay, so let me back up. Let me back up again because this is another topic that I was going to discuss, which is the relationship between Mikasa and Eren, but we can just talk about it right now. Um, are we are you discussing about how you don't like Eren and Mikasa as a couple or as a um or their relationship being romantic, or am I getting that right? Because I'm getting the feeling that you don't like the Eren and Mikasa ship, so you would have preferred them to be for them to be as biological brothers and sisters. That way, their relationship would be not romantic and more platonic. Okay, so if they were biological, then the romance wouldn't be there. Yes, so the relationship would be an issue. Yes, it is. It would be an issue. I don't really care about the ship, but the whole Ymir thing could have been played off as simple sibling-like love instead of affectionate. Um, I think I'm going to. I'm just going to say my thoughts on Eren and Mikasa as characters, because while I'm sure a lot of people are kind of on the fence about like Eren and Mikasa being a thing and whatever, I feel like we're watching two different shows, because pretty sure it was already heavily implied that Eren and Mikasa are kind of a thing, or they kind of love each other from the very beginning of the story. So even then, like, moving on from the story from that point forward, most of the talks of people not really buying into the whole Eren and Mikasa thing kind of scratches my head a bit, because like a lot of the hints are already there. So I'm not sure what we are watching, but because like even if you don't buy the relationship between Eren and Mikasa in season 1, I mean in season 2 it's pretty damning when in the final episode Mikasa was about to kiss Eren, but Eren denies the kiss, not because Eren doesn't love Mikasa, but because Eren realizes that in that kiss in season 2, it was a kiss of the acceptance of death, right? Mikasa wanted to kiss Eren because she accepted her death during that moment. She has nothing else to do. She lost the will to live, and therefore she goes to Eren as a final plea on this world before she moves on. But Eren says no, we gotta live on, we gotta survive, and that is why he rejected the kiss in the final episode of season 2. So love is always there. Yep, that is true. They are not the type of couple who would say love. That is also true. And the scarf is a symbol of that love. Exactly. The scarf is a symbol of that love. That is why during this finale, when Eren asks Mikasa to forget about him once all of this is done, Mikasa says no, which is a full circle back to the events of season 2 finale. What I was saying before, right? Eren rejected Mikasa's wishes of a kiss because Eren still wants them to survive and to live on. Now, full circle back, Eren wants to die, and he wants Mikasa to forget about him, and Mikasa's like, no, I am not going to forget about you. I am sorry, but I am not going to forget about you. And then he brings up the scarf again. I wouldn't classify the Eren and Mikasa relationship as underdeveloped. Kind of. But it's more so that the approach that Isayama went for their relationship is like, it's in the background. Like it is developing, but it is developing in the background. It is not in the forefront, but that's also like the point, right? Eren and Mikasa's feelings towards each other are never being showed from the outside. It's always from the inside, right? They never really profess their love. They never really talk about their actual feelings towards one another because they can't. But they do have those feelings, and those feelings have been developed throughout the vast majority of the show. It's just that those feelings are developed internally and not externally for us to see. What would you rate the ending in the anime compared to the manga? Ending overall, and by ending overall, I'll lump in the final chapters of Attack on Titan into like one, like the final volume of Attack on Titan, starting from the Battle of Heaven and Earth up into towards the tree on that hill. So chapter 135, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would lump that into like the ending of Attack on Titan. I would probably give it. I am very harsh on my ratings, by the way, before I say it, but I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. First half, probably 8, and then manga, by the way, I'm talking about the manga. And the actual final chapter of Attack on Titan 139, I would probably, at the time, give it like a 7 out of 10. Like, it's a good ending. Didn't really elevate to a holy shit, this is one of the best endings of all time, but it's like, it's a good ending. It made me satisfied. Overall experience of Attack on Titan is not tarnished. Still a masterpiece in my eyes. Anime wise, I would say this ending is probably a couple of points above that. I can't give an exact number just yet, but definitely above 7. This is a really, like I would rather not mention a number, and I could just say with words that I think this was a really good ending. You know, like if I say a 7, then people are gonna go, what, only a 7? But if I say this was a really good ending, because it is. This was a really good ending. I really enjoyed this ending of Attack on Titan. And the anime elevated it even further. And again, I've only seen this episode once. Other episodes of Attack on Titan I have seen multiple countless times already. I have more affection and affinity towards them than this episode. Even the final chapter, part 1, I've already seen a dozen times. I've only seen this once. I'm gonna rewatch it again multiple times already in the future, and maybe my feelings will change immensely. I'll probably feel more emotions. I'll probably, maybe one day, put it at the top of my list. So, who knows? You know, like, time is kind of relative. You know what I mean? Where were we? Because we kind of got derailed a bit on the discussion. I was talking about this scene. The fact that Eren was the one that led Dina into the city and not kill Berthold. And we saw this in final season, part 1, episode 3, if I remember correctly, right? This exact scene during the flashback of the Marlin Warriors. A lot of people were kind of, there was some controversy in regards to like this specific moment. Like, it's like the final bomb twist, right? Of Eren is the one who kills his mother. I have no issue with it. Like, when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I moved on. Like, I didn't really think about it, so I'm sorry. But I didn't really think about this scene at all. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for the story that Eren would be the one to do it. Like, the full circle and whatever. Like, so I have nothing else to say. I don't mind this at all. I thought this was pretty fitting. Nothing else to say. This, however, Ymir was in love with King Fritz. Why? I don't know. Only Ymir knows. When I first read this in the manga, I was confused, but I understand what Isayama was trying to go for. Essentially, right, let's remove the fact that, let's just ignore for a bit that King Fritz is kind of a freak and his relationship with Ymir is that of a master and a slave. To me, when I first read this, I think the point was pretty clear, right? Isayama is trying to tell us that trying to tell us a comparison between the relationship between Eren and Mikasa and Fritz and Ymir. Kind of whack, but in the thematically speaking, because we're not really comparing, and I don't think we should be comparing them in the romantic sense, because if we do compare it in the romantic sense, then that is where it starts to get really weird, right? But if we compare it in the thematic sense, in that Ymir is a person who supposedly is in love with King Fritz, and that she was unable to escape, right? This relationship is that intoxicating. It is a imprisonment of her and an enslavement of her personal emotions. And I guess you can say the same thing with Mikasa and Eren, in that obviously Mikasa loves Eren, obviously Eren loves Mikasa, but the problem is they both don't profess their love, so even though they are attracted to each other, their actions are separating them apart multiple times already. And you can imagine the emotional pain that, in this sense, Mikasa is going through, in that she is forever in this limbo where she is in love with a person but this entire relationship is just never gonna work. Tying that all together, because that is what Isayama wanted to do, right? It's Isayama wanted us to connect Ymir with Mikasa by the dialogue. It was Mikasa, as Eren says. He wants to connect all of that so that by the very end, or at least a chapter ago, because yeah, a chapter ago is when Mikasa actually kills Eren. It was the point of Ymir seeing Mikasa and making Mikasa the example of a person who is able to break free of this imprisonment, and yet they can both still profess love to each other. Mikasa specifically can still find peace. And I think that's the most important part, right? By the very end of this, even though Mikasa kills the one that she loves, she was able to find peace, she was able to move on, and yet her love still remains, for 10 years at least. And that is exactly what Ymir was searching for. She realizes that it was possible for this to happen. She sees that this eternal cycle of pain can be broken, and there is a happy ending for it. Happy ending for it. And that's why she is smiling. So putting all of that into the context of why Isayama presented us with the dialogue that apparently Ymir loved King Fritz, it makes sense. I just don't think that it was well explained enough, or at the very least, well executed in the manga. Because even then, at that, I still need like a couple of days just to churn out and to figure out like what it is, why this. And it's not really a direct answer, it's an answer that I came up with. Obviously, it's my own interpretation. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's all our interpretations, but just my thoughts on this very controversial moment in the manga, at the very least. I don't know how anime onlys are feeling about this, but the other, and as some of you in chat has mentioned, like the other simpler solution is that, oh, Stockholm Syndrome. And then that's it, we move on. So, speaking of moving on, let us move on. As we okay, let's break down the scene. What a scene. This is one of the best scenes of Attack on Titan. This entire sequence, and my god, is this not Arifumi Imai to a T? We got this fantastic oneer once again from Levi, like this one shot of just Levi swooping left, right, and center through all of those debris. It's so fucking good. Oh. Oh, this was great. This moment was great. You definitely feel the inertia when Levi lets the gas on, lets the gas off, and kind of breaks his fall, right, just to get a balance and to move around. Like the way the camera just whoosh. Oh, it's like we go in and then we go out and we go in again. Fucking great, man. This entire sequence is great. This fucking sequence is great. Oh, that frame of him. So well done. So well done. And then we transition from Levi to Mikasa. Beautifully shot. That was kind of an inappropriate shot. Beautifully shot, well executed. The camera movements are just... Oh, and it's still going. Like, this entire shot is still going. It's like one camera movement just going. Shoots the ODM gear. This is very Arifumi Imai right here. Oh, yeah. Zooms in. Cuts to Eren. Would have been amazing if we still keep this shot going and then we see Eren in the back and then we still kind of move in closer to Eren. Like the shot just never breaks. Like that would have been great. But obviously, you know, animators have their limitations and they need to stop in some time. This was beautiful. This was beautiful. And they actually did it. They actually showed Mikasa cutting the nape. What a beautifully executed scene, in my opinion. So well done. So well done. And this goes to like every single fight scene in this finale. I think when I was watching, sorry, not watching, when I was reading the manga for the Battle of Heaven and Earth and onwards, right, of this massive battle in Eren's spine, all I could think of in regards to like the anime adaptation is that, man, good fucking luck. But I think the animators, you know, and the people behind this project, like Hayashi, the director, and everybody else, I think they struck gold in playing around with the structure of Eren's body. The spinal structure for the founding Titan is such an incredibly well-crafted design because it makes for some really sweet ODM gear animation. Like all of those spines coming out. Yeah. Perfect place for you to swing around and use ODM gear. Oh, what's that? We have the entire CG model of this Founding Titan ready? Cool. We'll just use that and use that as the foundation for all of our swooping animation. I mean, it's essentially the same thing as like using buildings, right, as our foundational setting of the world, but this time we're just using spikes instead. And they executed it so beautifully. I think this was like they got it, man. They got it. They got it. This was in the bag. The amount of fantastic shots that they are able to pull off with this, and the fact that the Founding Titan is super large, like it is huge, it is big, it is long. You can have these sweeping shots of like Mikasa and everybody else with ODM gear just go on and on and on and on, and it would make perfect sense. Like you wouldn't feel that it's going on forever because it is going forever. Like it's pretty huge. Seeing Annie with Mikasa working together is such a treat for me, considering like their past rivalry. The rivalry. Why am I having trouble speaking? This was an excellent combination between 2D and 3D, in my opinion, and this finale has done this multiple times. The hand is CG, obviously, you know, because of the CG model, but the added like smearings on top of the 3D models makes the movement so much better. And it actually helps it helps blend the CG models and their movements a lot better than previously done before. Like obviously this is like a really, you know, like this is I would call it like a money shot, right? Where we're focusing on it, like look at all of these smears, right? But this is almost everywhere in this finale. And like I'm just remembering way back when with season 4 part 1 and how the fights went on in that season. Like look at this. Like Reiner's CG body, and then you have like the smear effects right here. The smearing effects of like the movement of the hands and such. Just for a couple of frames. But it's... I think this is the best that Attack on Titan CGI has ever seen, that we have ever seen. I've said this before. I think the final season of Attack on Titan only gets better and better and better as the seasons and the parts progress in terms of like the visual quality. And this is a testament to that. This was so well done. The entire sequences within Eren's like spine is beautiful to look at. I want to see Peak running again because I thought it was kind of funny. Somebody make a loop of that, please. Just Peak running away. Oh man. Falco's Titan, I will admit, is probably the only Titan that feels out of place amongst the models of like everything else. It's still good, no, don't get me wrong. Like this CG model of Falco's Titan is great in CG model standards. And like even in this shot, it's like pretty good. Like this is a really good shot. But like when we are kind of like far away, like here, it does feel like there's a slight disconnect for me at least. But but it's mostly during like those specific shots, like when we are actually in Falco's body, and when we are actually in Falco's tie-in, like we're focusing on only Falco's tie-in, it looks generally pretty good. And speaking of the past Titans, you know what? This felt kind of jarring when I was reading the manga. This whole idea that these are the past 9 Titans and they're here, and Bertholdt's here, and Marco's here, everybody's here. To me, at the time when I was reading the manga, it felt like we are introducing a new type of threat that appears simply because we need cannon fodder. But instead of the usual Titans, it has to be the 9 Titans. Like, I wasn't really into that idea first. Really love it here. It's like, yeah. It felt great. Like, that's the thing though. Story-wise, nothing has changed. Like, not just in story-wise, but like pacing-wise as well, nothing changed. This happens in the manga exactly as it is, right? But it feels natural here. Maybe it's because I already know about it. So I have like no surprise here, but it didn't feel off. It didn't feel jarring for me. I don't know what happened here. The complete change in feeling. Like, even here, this part, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how anime onlys are feeling about this, obviously, because I haven't seen anybody's reaction, right? But during this moment in the manga, I was kind of like, okay, Bertholdt's back, okay, Here I'm like, yep. That is how it is. This is the natural progression. Of course Bertholdt would be here. Duh. I'm like, it's such a fascinating change in feeling. I'm actually analyzing myself, like, what changed? Oh, the animation is definitely top notch. I mean, I already gushed about like the animation multiple times already here. It's superbly well done. I think this is the best. Visually speaking, I think this is the best that the Titans have ever looked in the final season of Attack on Titan. And just like the overall execution of the Titan fights, they don't feel stiff anymore. Back then in season 4 part 1, I would say they're very stiff, like super stiff. Like, there's no major fluidity in them, apart from maybe like Galliard, but here, like, every single fight scene, every single moment, every single action sequence of events are beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, who decided to do this? This is insane. Okay, first of all, this scene broke me. Armin's voice actor killed it once again. This was beautifully done. Armin crying and just hearing Armin in this moment sends shivers to me, and I was like, yeah, This is beautiful. I am going to cry. But wait, there's more. After we, and this is like the beautiful thing about like shifting panels and pages into different parts of the story just to fit the tone that you want to do. Because here, you feel the desperation in Armin, and that desperation that you feel for Armin, that sadness that you feel, is amplifying the scene after this, which is the rumbling. It's insane how well executed all of that is. I know some people are kind of mad, or not mad, but rather disappointed that they didn't get to see this in the first part of the final chapters of Attack on Titan. This fully justifies why they changed it from putting it in the beginning or putting it back then to here. Because here, the execution is not just flawless, but it's also perfect in tone. Like, dear God. Playing with my emotions with the Armin scene and then carrying that emotion to the rumbling. Seeing all of these flashes of like actual life being destroyed. Beautiful. Hauntingly beautiful. And who? I need to know. Who decided to change this to black and white? I need to know who that person is. Because cinema. Absolute cinema. Drain all of the color away. No more light for you. It's all black and white. It's all darkness. There is no hope in the world. There is no light or color. It's just pure sadness and despair. It doesn't matter who you are. They're all the same. Except for this. Dude, this fucking frame is so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. This frame is so fucking good. Oh man. This is having the mother and the baby being the only one in color, not only, I mean, obviously it makes us focusing on them, but it also shows us like, yeah, hope. The next generation. Hope. Everybody carrying that baby to safety. Just. Oh. I mean, it's not just Schindler's List, by the way. It's not just Schindler's List. Like, the motif, not motif, but the visual imagery of black and white with only red being the only thing that is being shown is actually quite common. But I will say that Schindler's List did kind of popularize it in modern cinema, but a lot of other movies and films and various different scenes have done this before. It's just that I wasn't really expecting it to be an Attack on Titan, let alone in this scene. Oh man. It's a fantastic use of it regardless. And then a couple of scenes later when the rumbling does stop, sometime here. No, wait a minute. It's when here we go. I love this moment, man. The color returning back. It's Hayashi fucking cooked in this finale, man. He fucking cooked, man. Like I could have never imagined him to be to do that. Like it's such a simple thing to do, but it's so fucking effective, in my opinion. Ah, fucking great stuff, man. This. Yeah, this finale's great. It's adaptation wise, this is a 10 out of 10. If we're just speaking about the level of quality that they are able to adapt from the manga, this is a 10 out of 10 adaptation. They elevated the manga to the max that they can give it. Full props, full praise. Give Hayashi every budget that he needs for Dorohedoro season 2. I don't care. I'm just happy that Hayashi is finally over with Attack on Titan, man. It's like it's been like what 3-4 years of them just working on this project that got lumped into them. I don't think Hayashi was kind of prepared to tackle on this major task when he first got like this role as the next director, because obviously at the time it's like, yeah, studio changes and all. Suddenly it's on Studio Mappa. Suddenly, hey, yeah, we're gonna be appointing you as the director of Attack on Titan. You do good, okay? Okay. Fast forward a couple of years later, man. I do believe that Hayashi is probably one of the best directors of anime. In our modern time, at least. Like the things that this man can do. And it's also like what fascinates me about like the Attack on Titan production is that season 4 part 1 started very rough. I love the Marley arc, don't get me wrong, but like season 4 part 1 in general was like a very rough like production schedule. Like everything is like very hectic. You definitely see that roughness in the second half of final season part 1. And of course at the time, like demands from the higher ups, from like the producer are like insane to, to meet. But it's crazy to think that they are able to get the time that they needed. I do think that they should have waited maybe a bit longer, because there are some shots here and there here, like maybe 2 or 3 shots that are kind of, off model and wonky at times, but like things that they can obviously fix in the Blu-ray, but they managed to pull this off. And they, especially for the final seasons of Attack on Titan, they were given time. If I remember correctly, this was originally supposed to be airing at the same time with part 1. Like it's supposed to be like this one giant movie extravaganza like a couple of months ago, but obviously they did not have the time to do that. And the fact that they were given time to split this into multiple parts, into 2 parts, got half a year to finish off final season part 3. And this is the quality that they are able to achieve. Half of me is fucking impressed and full appreciation to each and every one of the staff members who worked on this. The other half feels disappointed at what we could have gotten with season 4 part 1. If they had been given the time and the experience, because that's the thing, right? That's one thing that is the difference between this. They did not have any experience at all with part 1, right? They just got the project. All right, finish it off before the manga ends. Do whatever you want. They got like 8 months of production. They had no idea what to do. They had to resort to using 3D instead of 2D because I think I read somewhere that originally it was supposed to be 2D Titans, but they weren't able to do it in time that they were given, so they had to resort with 3D instead. But of course, obviously, moving on from there, experiences grow more and more and more, and it's kind of I'm kind of glad that all of that experience that they had is finally being given life and fruition in the final chapter in the finale, because this is insane. The quality, the CG Titans have never looked good, never been this better. So many camera movements as well. Like, so much. All of it is mostly because of Isayama and how he actually, you know, makes a shit ton of action sequences in these final chapters, but like again, like I look back at like this shot, right? Like these types of creative decisions of like, let's just make this black and white. In season 4, part 2, the closest equivalent that I could give is probably the pass, Eren dying. The scene where Eren dies and then everything freezes and then we see like the memories of everybody else and whatever. You see the eyes blinking like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like that is the other like creative direction that was given. And I'm like, man, I love season 4 part 1. But I cannot imagine what we could have gotten if it was created by this team with this experience. And all of this is just making me super excited for whatever project that this team, that Hayashi has in store for us in the future. There are really good directed episodes in part 1. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite episodes in part 1 was Declaration of War. But I'm more so talking about like other creative choices. You know, like the direction in part 1 is great. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking great. I love part 1. But it doesn't have the creative directions that Final Season Part 2 and the final chapters had. You know what I mean? You know, like Part 1 was great cinematic, but it was also playing it safe in regards to making it one-to-one with the manga. Whereas Part 2 and the final chapters, obviously they are taking more risk, right? They are taking more liberties in what to show and what not to show. And those decisions are mostly good and great. The composition of Eren and Reiner in that scene, yep, that is like one of the examples, for example. But like, yeah, like this scene, for example, like I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. I am a happy man, and we have been streaming for how long? Quite a long while. Wait a minute. I want to check on something. Before I actually end the stream, I want to know how long I stream part 1 of the final chapters. 3 hours and 38 minutes. And well, we officially surpassed that. Wonderful. Hope you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss? Because I feel like I kind of covered most of the things that I wanted to discuss within this finale. Like we talked about like the actual ending with the tree and everything. We talked about the cycle of violence. We talked about like the loop. We talked about my thoughts and feelings on Mikasa, on Ymir, Mikasa and Eren as well. The scene with Armin and Eren and the conversation behind that. Talked about how good some of the fighting sequences are. How did Mikasa get back to parity with Eren's decapitated head? Only Ymir knows. And with that, I think I'm going to end the stream. I was planning on doing a tier list of like a bunch of things, but that's just gonna go on forever. I want to take a break, you know, like I need to rest. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. So hope you guys enjoy the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. Maybe leave a comment as well after the stream is over if you want to further the discussion ahead. It's fine. I am still reading comments down below, so if you do want to continue more with the discussion and whatever things that you may like, things that you may don't like, I don't know, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And it's been a ride. It's been quite a ride. Thank you all so much for tuning in on this incredible journey with us. Attack on Titan is over, but I'm sure the discussion will continue on. See you all next time for whatever. It's been great. It's been fun talking and discussing with a lot of you guys. Even the parts that a lot of people may disagree with in the comment section and in the chat. That's fine. That's all good. Why? Because it's a form of discussion. We are discussing things. We talk about the good, the bad. We see things from various different perspectives, and I think discussions are pretty healthy. So thank you all so much for sticking to the very end. I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.